Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Greetings and good morning from Praia da Luz in Portugal. So I'm just running a short live just to answer any questions you might have about the upcoming 21 Days to Manifestation Challenge that we're starting on the 16th of January, which is this coming Monday. All very exciting. And we've already had quite a few people joining in our group, which is all very, very cool. I think we have, about 119 members at the moment joining the Facebook group, which is very, very cool. And we also have a WhatsApp group. This is going to be our announcement group, so no chat. And then we also have a chat group as well. So this is where you can interact with the rest of the participants. But everything is going to be copied into or launched into the Facebook group. So you're welcome to join us there. Also have a email list. So you can join the email list as well. And that email list can be found at this website. All you need to do, we're going to run through a little presentation I've put together, which is all about gardening. And you might wonder, what has gardening got to do with manifestation? And all that will become clear in this little presentation that I put together. The 21-day manifestation challenge. It's totally free. You can connect in a number of different ways. You can connect via email by adding your email address to the 21-day manifestation 2023 website, or through Facebook, the Facebook group. We've got a group for the 21-day manifestation 2023, and we've got a WhatsApp announcement group and a WhatsApp chat group. So any of those different channels, you can access the challenge. And we're going to start on Monday. So I'll just tell you a little bit about the challenge and what it is. Basically, it's just an opportunity for us all to explore the subject of manifestation and creating a reality, with the intention of making 2023 the most amazing year of our lives. And that means we're going to consciously create an amazing year. And we're going to start that by learning how to manifest consciously, not by default, because we're all very, very good manifestors. We all are absolutely perfect manifestors. We manifest our lives perfectly. Although we don't always manifest what we think we want, we're always manifesting. Life is all about manifestation, but there's a difference between manifesting consciously and manifesting by default. So that's what the 21-day challenge is all about. It's about learning how to manifest life by choice and consciously with awareness, as opposed to manifesting life by default. There's some amazing teachings that I've learned and I've been researching over the last few days to really bring this course together and make it the most powerful thing, course or challenge that you've ever done. Really, there's some really awesome stuff that we're going to explore. And the main thing is, not that I've ever taught this before. This is my first opportunity to lead this challenge, but we're going to do it as a group. So I don't know if you've ever experienced the fact that oftentimes you set goals and all that type of thing, and then you get distracted, or you just don't have the support to bring those into reality or manifestation. So the great thing about the challenge is that we're going to be doing it with a whole group of other people. And that is what is going to make it the most powerful course or thing you've probably ever done, ever. So at the moment, we've got 119 people in the Facebook group. I hope you're one of them. And if you're not one of them, please join us. We've got a few days before we start, so you can prepare for it. Also, it's not going to take a lot of time. So I'm looking at probably doing like a little 5-minute video at the start of each day. All the videos will be recorded, so you can catch up throughout the day. It's going to be 5 minutes, like super easy. And then probably like a 5 or 10 minutes exercise. So just a something set for you to do, like, I don't know, one of them might be writing out your goals or pondering a particular goal. Also, there's so many different areas of life where we can set goals and we can, set goals. So also one area is setting the goals, right? This is the one area, setting goals. We have all these different areas of life. We have spirituality and friendships and finances and health, family, all these different areas. So we're going to, in the course of 21 days, we're going to focus on 3 of these different areas. So you're just going to choose, out of all the different areas you can, you're going to choose 3 different areas to focus on. So for me personally, I'm going to focus on number 1, health, because without health, nothing else really works. Number 2, finances. And then 3rd is going to be vocational. So like my work. Those are my 3 areas that I'm going to personally focus on. So that's the first thing I'd request that you do, is you start thinking about like what areas of life are really meaningful for you right now. Like what areas of life do you really need to focus on? Out of all the different areas of life, there's about 10 or 12. What areas do you really want to focus on in this challenge? And we'll work on each area for 7 days. So by the end of the 21 days, we'll have these 3 areas really like keyed down. And that means setting goals and working on that goal in that area for 7 days. That's the sort of sharp end of the spear. The back end of the spear, the foundation of that is, okay, how do we manifest? How do we keep focused? How do we use our RAS, our reticular activating system? How do we visualize? How do we use affirmations? All these different skills that we can use to empower our goals and make them really, really strengthen them, give them some force and give them some energy, and then give them the best chance of actually coming into manifestation and to reality. So that's how sort of the course or the challenge is going to go for 21 days. You can catch up anytime. If you miss a few days, that's fine. You can just go back and watch the videos. Like I said, it's not going to be a long amount of investment each day, 5-10 minutes. And all the stuff will be recorded. Oh yeah, and the other great thing that's going to happen is we're going to have, you're going to have an accountability partner. So we're going to hook you up with one other person in the group who's going to keep you on track, and somebody you can discuss with, somebody you can interact with, somebody that's going to hold you accountable and make sure that you finish the challenge. So, oftentimes we do courses and we do workshops and stuff like that. And, we don't have that support. So not only are you going to have my support, so I'm going to be there to answer questions, etc., etc. You're going to have the support of the group. So 100, maybe we'll reach 200 people in the group, 300 people, who knows? And then plus you'll have an accountability partner, somebody you're going to be able to accountable for them, and they're going to be accountable for you. And that could take the form of having a chat with them every day, or just sending them a message, and they'll do the same for you. So I think that's going to be a really, really powerful part of this challenge. So yeah, other thing I wanted to ask you a big favor is that this is a free challenge. It's not being charged for. Doing it out of just pure inspiration. And yeah, so I really think it'd be an amazing opportunity for all of us, yourself, your friends, anybody that you know, to really make 2023 the best year ever. So I'm going to ask you to do us a favor and do yourself a favor, and in fact do the whole world a favor, because the more of us that are consciously manifesting our reality instead of allowing society and the news and what's going on out there to create our reality, the more that we can consciously create a reality. And I know you're all amazing people, so we're going to create like a reality of peace and love and harmony and success and really good manifestation, heart, all those type of things that we really love. I'd like you, if you don't mind, sharing the challenge with as many people as you can. Sharing the Facebook group and sharing the website. You can even add people to the WhatsApp group, and let's get as many people as possible into this challenge as we can, so that we can just make this super, super, super powerful. And this challenge is obviously applicable to anybody out there, because we all want to be manifesting and creating our lives in a conscious way. And that's what I'm going to go into in just a moment for this little presentation. And this presentation is all about gardening. And you might wonder, like, what the heck does gardening have to do with manifestation? Who's wondering, what does gardening have to do with manifestation? Well, I'm going to tell you that in a moment. I'm going to tell you that right now, in fact. In fact, I'm not even going to tell you because you guys are all pretty intelligent, and I think you're going to work it out for yourselves. So the first thing I want to ask you is, what type of gardener are you? And now I'm actually talking about gardening. It's nothing, it has to do with manifestation, but actually it's just, right now it's just got to do with gardening, because it's a good example, it's a great metaphor for how we create our lives. And personally, the way I garden, and I haven't had much opportunity to garden because I don't have that, in fact, right now I don't have a garden, but when I had a garden, the way I gardened was really as a novice. I've dabbled in gardening over the years, but not really got the hang of it. So I would consider myself a novice. A novice gardener, just lets the garden basically happen by itself and doesn't really put that much effort into it. Then we also have an intermediate gardener. So if you're an intermediate gardener, you spend some time planning, you spend some time planting the plants that you want, and you also probably spend some time, weeding, watering, a couple of hours a week, something like that. And then you also have an expert gardener. So an expert gardener is somebody who spends a lot of time planning. They know exactly what they're doing. They probably read up books about gardening. They know exactly what plants they're gardening. They plant them according to their plan. And they also, they probably, sort of weed every day, spend an hour or so in the garden, probably, 6-7 hours a week. And you can see those gardeners, they're amazing. Like, they've just got that green touch. They know what the plants are. They know what sort of harvest they're going to get. They know when to plant. They know, what to plant in various places. I would love to be a gardener like that. That would be a dream. One day I'll get there. So in gardening, whatever you put in the soil returns, right? So if you plant a tomato seed, you get tomatoes. If you plant cabbage, you get cabbage, right? That's what gardening is all about. So a novice, what I put, never planted a gardener, has never planted. I will work on this before we start. But a novice is basically just lets the garden happen, right? A lot of people are so busy in life, they have a garden in their backyard, and they might cut the lawn, but the garden sort of just grows. That's called the wild garden. It just happens by default. And what's the majority of the plants in a novice garden is probably just weeds, right? Weeds, it's overgrown, and sometimes there might be one plant in there that is pretty cool. In the August, you might get some nice berries or something like that, but it's all pretty, garden by default. So a novice garden has a garden, but it's overgrown, full of weeds. They spend zero time in the garden working. At harvest time, the novice doesn't harvest anything besides weeds or some random plant that by chance landed and survived. So what are the advantages of being a novice gardener? Well, I can think of some advantages. One advantage is they've got more time to, do other things. Go to the pub, chat with friends, watch EastEnders, work, do all the other things that life can fill in, right? But what are the disadvantages of being a novice gardener? Well, the main disadvantage is that your garden sort of is by default. It's not consciously created. So whatever happens there just happens based on the environment, right? So the environment, some seeds might blow in, sometimes it might rain, sometimes it doesn't rain. So it just depends on what's happening out there in the outside world is what happens in your garden, right? So the intermediate, if you're an intermediate gardener, you've planted a few gardens, okay? You've planted a few plants and you sort of know what it's like to be a gardener. An intermediate has a few plants that looks good and is generally weeded. You make sure that the garden is generally full of things that they like. They generally spend a couple of hours a week watering and tending the garden. At harvest time, some of their plants have done amazingly, but most haven't really worked and don't really produce well. So you would say like an intermediate gardener, probably maybe 50% of the garden looks really good and is the type of plants that they want, and they harvest the type of vegetables that they want. Some of them work, some of them don't work. It's pretty haphazard, but it's relatively successful. So what are the advantages of being an intermediate gardener? Well, you don't spend all your time in the garden. You still get some type of harvest, and also you might not yeah. So the disadvantages of being an intermediate gardener, well, you don't get all the plants that you want. You don't have all the harvest. Maybe you only get half a good garden, and it's not really what you want. But you're probably not prepared to spend. You probably do other things, and those other things, take up more of your time, and you also enjoy doing the other things. So you've got more time. You spend more time in the other things that you like. So an expert is really somebody who's at the level where they can actually teach somebody else to garden. Let's say an expert makes sure that the garden is weeded, that the garden is planned in meticulous detail, that each plant is exactly where it should be according to the plan. The plants are watered and fed every single day. An expert doesn't think the time that they're spending in the garden is a waste of time. They're not watering, thinking about how much they'd rather be watching TV or chatting with friends. They have a very clear picture in their mind of the amazing garden they're creating, the beautiful flowers, the amazing fruits and vegetables. So an expert gardener has a very, very, very clear plan of what their garden is going to be and the results and what the harvest is going to be at the end of the gardening cycle. Okay. So I guess we can also ask, what are the advantages of being an expert gardener? Well, the advantages are, I guess, that you're very clear on what you're doing, right? You know what plants you're going to plant. You have a very clear plan, a step-by-step plan. You know what you're doing at any moment of time. You also know that you're going to get a really good harvest. So you don't have to go to the shop and buy loads of veggies because you're probably harvesting all your veggies from your own garden. Probably you also get lots of relaxation in the garden. It's quite cool to be in the garden. It's relaxing. This is where you are being creative. This is where you get your satisfaction, your nourishment, all those different advantages. What are the disadvantages of being an expert gardener? Well, I guess the main disadvantage is that most of your time is actually spent in the garden. Like if you have any extra time, like you come home and instead of turning on the TV and watching EastEnders or reading a book, you're probably going to, dedicate most of that time to actually being in your garden. So I guess you could say that is a disadvantage. So yeah, that's the metaphor of being a gardener. And I'm sure at this stage, you can see how that relates to the concept of manifestation and creating your reality. We can create our reality by being a novice creator, and a novice just allows things to happen. And I would say that I'm my whole life pretty much been a novice. I've heard this concept of manifestation, creating your own reality and making things happen consciously. And I guess to a certain extent, I've been an intermediate that, I've consciously created certain things. I think we all have at some stage. But in general, like 90% of the time, I think personally, I've been a novice. An intermediate sort of manifestator or somebody who creates consciously on an intermediate level is somebody who does spend some time goal setting, does spend some time envisaging their life and where their life wants to go, spend some time working these different areas of life, but it's all also a little bit haphazard. They might, think about their goals maybe once a week, or think about their goals maybe once a month, or maybe they do some goal setting at the beginning of the year, and then the rest of the year is sort of, they sort of forget about it, right? So an intermediate sort of manifester sort of does reap some of those rewards, but it's not totally conscious, and they don't know exactly what they're going to get at the end of the harvest. Whereas an expert manifester, which is hopefully what we'll all be at the end of this 21-day challenge, is somebody who's very clear on consciously being able to create their life, consciously being able to manifest and achieve the goals that they've set for their life. They make a plan, they're very, very clear on their plan, and they put steps in order to achieve those plans, and then they consciously spend time, efforts, and resources, mental resources, etc., every single day, making sure that their plan comes to fruition. And that's what we're going to learn in the 21-day manifestation course. So this little Wayataba, I think that's how you say it. This is really interesting. This is something I just learned recently. And what it means is, what you think about, you bring about. Okay, so that's another thing we're going to explore in the 21-day Manifesting 2023 course. And that I'm not going to talk about much now, but I mainly wanted to run through this little teaching, this metaphor of being a gardener. And I think it's a great metaphor for how we're going to use this metaphor in the course, right? In the challenge. We're going to keep on, bringing that to mind. Are we a novice? Are we intermediate? Are we expert? And I want you to just ponder that idea and think about it, okay? And hopefully by the end of this 21-day manifestation challenge, we're going to be expert gardeners. And I hope you want to be an expert gardener, because in that way, we're going to get the most amount of reward, which is we're going to be able to harvest. So I'm super excited. I'm super excited. I want to be, or I am an expert gardener. And I'm really excited to take you on this journey with me. Yeah, that's that little presentation. I hope that brings you something to think about. If there's any other questions, please feel free to ask them in the chat. I will do another live, probably tomorrow as well. This has already been half an hour. I'm not going to go much longer, but I hope hopefully that gives you a little taste of the type of things that we're going to be exploring in the 21-day manifestation challenge. And I really hope that you join us. And I really hope that you share the manifestation challenge with as many people as you can, so that we can take on this exploration, this adventure together with as many people as possible. Obviously, the more people, the more powerful it's going to be, the more energy is going to be behind it. So it benefits all of us to have as many people as possible as part of this challenge. So on that beautiful note, I'm wishing you the most amazing day, and wherever you are, I hope you're happy, and I hope you're excited. I hope you're got full of energy. And remember, we start the challenge on the 16th, which is 5 days. I think it's only 5 days away, so that's not long. So get ready to take on board. Remember, it's not going to be long, not a huge amount of investment, but that small investment is going to pay off massively. Massive. Can you just imagine if you do you have the skills and the abilities to be able to manifest consciously? You're like, I want to go on that holiday to Thailand, and I want to spend 6 days in a retreat, whatever it is, right? And you're like, bang, and it happens. I want to buy that amazing house on that hill, bang, it happens. I want to create this amazing relationship, bang, it happens. If we had, I want to create a world of peace and harmony. If we all did that together and bang, it happened, wouldn't that be amazing? Yeah. So this is what we're doing. We're learning to manifest consciously, and whatever that is for you. Might be like a health related. I want to be the healthiest, strongest person that I can be, and we're going to give you those tools. We can explore the tools that you need in order to achieve that. Or I want to lose 20 pounds, bang, you're going to have the tools to do that. So again, thank you so much. If you listen to this video later on, have a great day, and over and out, and I'll speak to you very, very, very soon. God bless.